Gear Patrol calls their new dive watch the best sub-$500 dive watch. Full stop. Men's Health rated them as the most stylish solar watch in the game. Who are we talking about? It's Movement. They're leveling up your gift giving with the sleekest watches you can buy and the biggest deals of the season. Shop 30 to 50% off Movement's innovative California clean watches, jewelry, and accessories with fast free shipping and returns now at mvmt.com. That's mvmt.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Potted Together podcast. My name is Adam, and as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts Becca and Nicole. Hello.
Hello. Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
How's it going?
Hey.
Into season 6. But today we're going to be talking about plant chores that we absolutely hate doing, which is an episode idea that I think I texted you guys because I was in the middle of doing something that I hated doing. And I'm like, or I thought about it when I was in the middle of something. I was like, we should all talk about those things that we all put off for like months.
Yeah.
Yes. But we'll get into that after we have our catch-up. So,
yeah, let's do it.
Who wants to talk about their week first? Nicole's been holed up in a room.
Yeah, your quarantine room.
She's
I'm in
Rapunzel.
quarantine. Well, I'm still up here with the view of the highway. Yeah, I still have this cough. Jay's got a few pretty important sessions this weekend, so we're trying to keep our distance from each other. Mm-hmm. And luckily, like, the kids aren't here during the week, so I can stay up here. But and when any, like, one of us are sick, it's kind of nice that the kids have another parent's house to go to, because this way we can avoid them possibly getting sick. Although this time around, Mia's stepmom got sick and she's been sick. So it's like she's just been here.
So selfish of her.
Yeah, right? God. So Mia texted me earlier today and she's like, I feel like crap. Like, I feel like I'm getting sick. And I'm like, cool, because Christmas is like a week away at this point. And no one can just ever stay healthy for the freaking holidays. But, you know, it could be worse. I'm slowly getting over it. It's just this lingering cough. And now, like, my voice is going, as you can probably hear. But yeah, and I'm bored. I've been bored this week. Is Daniel doing the dishes again? Because he did them last week too.
He's pouring a bowl of cereal.
Oh,
sorry.
That's okay.
You could hear him doing the dishes last week.
Yeah. Adam was texting me, like, me and Adam were texting back and forth because we had a thing so he could show me how to edit. And I was like, Daniel's definitely doing the dishes for a minute during this one segment. It's very easy to edit, so it's fine. Especially when I'm talking. So tell him to keep doing what he's doing. So anyway, I've been bored. I have like some videos in my bank to film, but like with this cough, I'm trying to like stay out of the kitchen too. And it's just like, I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't set high goals for myself before the holidays while I have a cold. Let me just wait until after everything. Maybe next week. I'll probably film next week if I'm feeling better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just been bored. And this is a good time to have this topic because I have been neglecting the shit out of my plants. Like I don't think that they've looked this bad in a really long time.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the video I'm going to lead with when I post on YouTube again, is going to be like, my plants are straight up suffering and it's all my fault.
Not clickbait.
Not clickbait.
Not clickbait. Everything is dying.
Yes. That's a good title. So yeah, that's pretty much all that's been going on with me. This time of the year is just like it's a meh. The sun hasn't shined in like a week, you guys.
Oh my God. I know. It's
I know
horrible.
You're feeling it too.
It's like 2 weeks, I think, going on. 2 weeks, no sun.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah.
The clouds is a thick cloud cover out there.
Do either of you two have those happy lights yet? I know we talk about it every year.
No. Yeah, I know.
This is technically a happy light.
Okay.
It's
Is
a
it?
daylight. Yeah, it's a daylight lamp. I always have it on the warm setting because I like warm light more, but it has like a cool like daylight setting and then like an ultra warm or ultra cool setting as well.
Okay.
So that's really helpful. I have it on like almost all day because it's a cave. My house is a cave.
Yeah, your house gets darker than mine. Like
cozy.
I'm on the second floor.
A cozy cave.
It's so cozy.
It is super
Yeah, like,
cozy.
In this like view, like it looks like there's like sunlight. Like this is perfect, but it's very gloomy outside. So
Yeah.
all good. 'Tis the season. But that's really all my update.
Well, I want to. So you know how because I was editing the pod and we're still sharing those duties now. But Nicole, we had that session to teach Nicole how to edit, which is weird because I'm so OCD about things like where I have our audio tracks. Like it's always Adam, Becca, Nicole because it's alphabetical order. So mine's always track one, Becca's always. And I was like, I don't know where I should like teach her or be like, this is how I do it. But you can do however you want. But you know how I not pick apart, but like I noticed certain things that you guys do. Like you always said, and then we're like, yeah. Last night when you were texting me and you sent me that little clip of where we all said yeah like 8 times, and I'm like, I wonder if Nicole is now going to be able to tell me the things that I do that are kind of annoying. Because
can I tell you?
Yeah. Please do.
Okay, so remind me, Becca, to send you this clip. Actually, I'm going to send it to you now. I didn't want to bother you last night, but I have to send this to you really quick.
It's so funny.
I was dying. I listened to it like 10 times.
Those yeahs, right?
I did. I left like 2 in because it made sense, but like the other 17, they're gone.
We said yeah, all of us, like over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Repeatedly, back to back.
It was so
I'm
weird.
like, what the fuck? It was awful. I was like, how do we not notice this when we're doing it? Okay, so Adam, you have an impeccable microphone. Like, I don't know what kind of mic you have, but it's very good and it picks up everything. Becca, don't you have the same mic as him though, don't you?
No, you two have the same mic, right?
No, none of us have the
No.
same mic.
Oh,
Okay, so
I have
anyway,
a Blue Yeti.
see how Becca's sitting? She's like kind of like away from the mic. So when she's breathing, you don't hear it. But every time, because you stay close to the mic. So while we're talking, like you could hear like just like.
Are you singling out my track so you can hear me breathing?
Oh
Yes.
my
I'm
god.
still breathing. I'm still breathing.
Yeah, but no, you know what? You know what I was doing though when I was editing last night? I was trying to think as you because I was like, well, I'm going to upload this into the thing so he could check it for me to make sure like it's to his par because that's what I want. But like I don't want you to feel self-conscious if I like leave something in, and then I don't want you to be like, Nicole, why did you leave this in? So like I just took it all out.
Oh, no.
You're gonna go in there and be like, why are there so many cuts? But it sounds good. It sounds
See,
good.
the thing is,
Like,
as I never edit that stuff out, so maybe like I'm just missing it, or I'm just blind to my own like mouth noises. But also, I was like coming down with COVID, not knowing it.
oh yeah,
last time.
That's right.
You had COVID. Yeah, you had COVID. So
But
you could tell. You could tell you were stuffy. That's what it was.
that's so awkward just to hear my breathing.
And there were a couple of parts that were just like, what is he doing? Like you were like moving around. It was like shuffling cards or something. And I was like, it's probably just movement. But like the mic picks up
Shuffling
so
cards.
much.
Yeah, I know. I usually just cut out like the clearing of the throats, which Becca never does. She is like an angel, never clears her throat.
Yeah.
Nicole and I are in a constant state of
Really?
Me more so though. I mean, I know I was sick last week too.
yeah.
But still, like the amount of coughing and throat clearing from my track that I cleared was just astronomical. So
I feel like my track would have a lot of shuffling around because there definitely are times when I'm like touching the mic a lot Like,
Yeah.
So don't worry, Nicole. Like, I'll give you issues too. If I didn't already.
I mean, this last one was, there were some like that were like noises, but it was more so like background noises. I really didn't hear any like mouth noises or like movement.
That makes me happy.
Today, however.
Today, who knows?
And honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I loved editing that episode. You know what? I get it. Like, I get how, like, you're like, yeah, it's work. It takes up a lot of time because I think it took me like 3 hours just because it was like my first time doing it. But it is genuinely fun. Like I was smiling through the whole thing, you know?
Yeah, it is. It's like spending time with you guys all over again. Like, it's really, it is a joy. And I was thinking, if this works how we hope it will, like where you send me the audition file and I do the final, or we add in things, it might just be, this is going to be so much easier on all of us because like someone can just listen through and edit the episode and then someone can do the final touches, export, upload, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Boom.
Yeah. If we all shared it, it wouldn't feel like it's a lot of work.
I'm excited, and yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to. I keep my breathing in check, and I'm so ADHD that like because I'm in this closet and there's just things around. I'm like, oh, that needs to be cleaned up, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And I'm like fidgeting with things.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, Becca, how's your week been?
Yeah, it's been a pretty normal week. I've been filming a lot because I have 3 campaigns, 3 ads that need to go up and they're all due on the same day, which never happens. And I'm like really stressed out about it because I have to, I have to film all of them and upload them. Like, I don't have to submit them all on the same day. Like, you could submit them early, but it's me. So no, that's not going to happen for me.
I get it.
So yeah, basically I'm just like stressed out about the uploading situation. Like, I have to upload 3 videos in like 12 to 24 hours. Like, my internet might poop out on me. I don't really know. So that's basically been my week, like figuring that out. But we're going to see my family on Sunday. Our flight to go to Tucson or to Phoenix is leaving out of St. Louis at like 7 a.m. So we're gonna have to get up like really early, like at 2 a.m. And I'm like, let's just stay the night in St. Louis. Like, I'm sorry. I just would rather do that. And then I was like, okay, well, if we're gonna stay the night in St. Louis, like, what if we see if there's Nutcracker tickets? Because I've always wanted to go to the Nutcracker Ballet. So I found miraculously 2 tickets next to each other this last minute. Like, it was crazy. Everything was booked. There was no seats together. So I was like, well, I'm not going to go unless we can sit together.
Yeah.
So I found 2 next to each other and I booked it. And we're going to see the Nutcracker on Sunday.
That's
Is it going to be at the fabulous Fox Theater?
Yes.
I love the Fox so much.
Oh my gosh. Is it like really beautiful and cool?
Yes. I fell asleep at a Mannheim Steamroller concert at the Fox.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Very
I mean,
cool.
Mannheim Steamroller. Go out to have a giant meal and then sit in a cozy, warm theater. Like, it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. What do they expect? Truly.
But it is a really beautiful theater, and I'm so excited you get to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. And we're staying at the hotel that's very close to it. It's where we stayed for my birthday last year. It's called the Angad Art Hotel. Something like that.
That cool one, right? The one with all the like, that
the
bathroom.
rooms.
Or a different one.
Now we're staying in the red room.
Oh.
I know.
The red room.
Everybody has their
Oh
kinks.
la la. Red room. Everybody has their kinks. We're going to find out.
I'm gonna learn today.
We're going to find out. So yeah, we're staying in that hotel, which is like walking distance from the theater. So it'll be really cool. Like, the show's at 3. And then we're going to have to go to bed pretty early to get to our flight. So that's all fine. I mean, yeah, it's like we could have stayed in a hotel like next to the airport, but like, why? When we can just stay at this other really cool hotel. And it wasn't even that expensive. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's all very relative. But for me, I was like, yeah, let's just stay here. Like, even not even good hotels are still like $150 a night. Like, what the heck?
I feel like that's cheap. Like,
Yeah.
hotels lately, But everything.
Remember when things used to be like $49 and $99 was in a really expensive hotel? You're like, whoa, I am spending big bucks.
Concert tickets, plane tickets, like everything used to be like $100.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I think it was like 170 for a night at this really cool hotel. And yeah, like staying at a not cool hotel would be almost exactly the same amount. I'm like, I'm not even gonna have an elevated experience. So $20, I mean, come on. So anyway, and then we're going to see my family and it's really exciting. I finished my mom's quilt. I made her a quilt for Christmas and I hope she loves it. I'm like nervous. Every time I do a handmade gift, I'm like, oh, what if they don't like it? I just spent so much time on this, but I think she will.
It's beautiful though. It's so beautiful.
It is really beautiful. And then you're going to come home the next time and you're going to be like, where's the quilt? What are we doing with the quilt?
Where's the quilt, Mom? No, I think she'll definitely use it. My mom loves blankies, like sitting blankie. Okay, I just reverted back to being 5 years old. You. No, she likes like watching shows and movies with like under a blanket. Like even in summer, she always has like a little blanket on. I'm exactly the same way sitting here with the blanket.
Same.
So,
how are you? Like, are you packing it? Because that's a big blanket. Are you just going to carry it on?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I am going to try to pack it because as far as gifts go, like my dad's gift is already at the house, at their house. My sister's gift is super small. And so we were going to leave room for gifts in our bags, but I think that'll only take up one side of a carry-on and I can just use the other side. So I think I'll be okay in the end.
Nice.
Yeah. We'll have to see. I would really like to put it in like a pretty box, but I bought some ribbon to tie around it. But I don't know. Like I would like to put it in a nice box, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure she'll understand. It's hard traveling with presents. You know?
Yeah, but also you'll be here for a week where you could just like pop over to like TJ Maxx and Home Goods and like see if they have because they usually have those Christmas boxes. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have time, which is good. Oh, and while I'm home, I'm finally going to start my name change process because I haven't done that yet. So that's going to be a big thing. Hopefully it won't be a big thing, but yeah, at least get my license switched because my license is Arizona for various reasons. I don't want to change it. I mean, I'm not even changing my plates on my car because have you ever seen the Missouri plate? It's disgusting. It's so ugly. Like the Arizona plate has a beautiful Sonoran Desert scape with the sunset, sunrise, whatever. Like I'm not parting with that. I'm gonna do whatever I can to keep it. Like I'm sorry.
There you go.
But no. But yeah, so I think I should be able to like get my license updated there and then hopefully I can go to the Social Security office here. But we'll have to see. It's like a whole thing to change your name, which is why I haven't done it yet. And I've been married for almost 4 years. So, yikes.
Yeah, I feel like 10 years here.
Yeah, cool. Not much better than me.
Once you get your driver's license, I feel like the Social Security office piece is pretty easy and that can be done anywhere, you know?
Yeah.
So I went to go get mine done for our 5-year anniversary. I was going to surprise him and like show him I finally changed my name because he's always on me about it. And I sent all my stuff in and they sent me the paperwork back saying they needed something else. And like, it was this whole thing. I went through that online site that does it called like WeWed or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But they were supposed to make the process easy, you know?
Yeah.
And then I just gave up. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't care. And I like put it aside because I don't know.
To me, it's like, it doesn't really, like, it's special, you know? Like, I would like to have the same last name as my kids. I don't want my kids to have 2 last names. Like, it's just like a whole thing. And it's all personal choice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So each person will have a different journey in that. And there's obviously no shame. Like, if you don't change your name, if you do change your name, like, it literally is just your choice. If your, you know, husband changes his name. I've seen that twice now, where the husband changed his name in hetero relationships, where the husband changed his name to the wife's last name. And I'm like, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if I married someone that was higher up in the alphabet, I'd be like, yeah, I'll take your name. I'll be first in line.
Your last name starts with a B.
I know.
So
I'm
you're
sorry.
already
So
there.
if I meet an A,
yeah.
it's going.
In a long-term relationship already with.
It's like I feel like there's like some underlining issue I have with changing my last name.
Yeah, the fucking patriarchy. That's the issue. All right.
It is for sure. But like my brother's the only male left in the Duggar family, which I hate my last name. I'm always getting asked, "Are you from that family on TV?" No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
Becky Cone.
It's an ER.
Becky Cone.
My last name is ER, not AR, okay? So, but like, my dad never wanted me to change my last name. And like, he passed away and I never changed my last name with Mia's father either. So I was like, you know what? I was like in the back of my head, I'm like, well, my brother needs to have kids to keep this name going. And if he doesn't, it's going to die with me because he's like 20 years older than me. So it's like I'm the last one here from my family, which goes back like centuries with this last name, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a thing. But I told Jay, I said, you know, after my dad passes away, because he was really sick at the time, I was like, I'll change it. I don't want to do it like while he's still. And then I never did. And he gives me shit about it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, when you change it, all the hassle that entails, if you ever need to change it back for any reason, not saying that that's a situation that you two will find yourself in.
Right.
But it is also that much of a hassle.
Yes. Yeah.
So
it's
like,
funny
why
that
are
you
we
say
doing
that.
this? Why is the world doing this to everybody? But I guess the kids thing does throw it in. Like, I understand wanting to have the same last name as your children. I get that.
Yeah. And I don't. Like, Mia's got her father's last name. But, like, it's funny that you say that because I told Jay, I was like, well, you know, I didn't change my last name with him because, for one, my whole dad thing, my last name's ending. But also, like, I knew that shit wasn't going to work. I was like, so why am I going to go through that? So now he's always like, yeah, well, it's because you think that we're not going to work. I'm like, shut up.
Nicole always has an out. There's always a plan.
Always a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like kind of strange that women are just expected to like leave behind this entire name, this identity that they've carried their whole life. Like, there's nothing wrong with changing it. Literally, there's literally nothing wrong. It's just that there's this expectation that you have to, or like, you know, whatever that may be. I mean, my last name for me has been like a journey to like come to terms with, because, you know, it was my absent father's last name. And then, you know, it started to mean something more to me as I got older. For me, not him. It was my name now. And it just feels weird to let go of that. Like, after all that work that I did, just being like, all right, anyway, like, new last name.
Yeah.
But I mean, I am going to hyphenate. So I'm still keeping my last name. But
okay.
yeah, I don't know. I grew up with my mom not having my last name, and it was always so confusing for everybody.
It is.
And
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, for me, with having like an absent father, it was like he was always like there. Like, he was still always there, because it was like, oh, well, why is your mom's last name this? Or they'd call her Miss De La Paz, and she'd get like really uncomfortable because my dad was not a good person. You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When in actuality, like, why can't schools just be like, okay, this is Mia, her last name. Like, why does it have to be that? Because I also sign my name Nicole Vega. Like, a lot of people know me as Nicole Vega because that's like what I go by, but it's just not my legal name, you know?
yeah. Yeah.
It's just, it should be whatever we want it to be. And I think it is. I think, like, you're right. There's definitely still an expectation there to change it. But I feel like being a wedding photographer and keeping in touch with couples, even after they get married and like delivering galleries, I'm seeing a lot more of women keeping their last name.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like very common in Hispanic culture as well. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and actually not just Hispanic culture, but a lot of like non-white cultures, let's say, it's you would hyphenate and then your kids would take both of your last names. Like, it's so normal. It's a bit of a hassle because it's not the norm, but it just, in so many cultures, it's extremely normal, besides American culture, really. And maybe, probably other Western cultures or white cultures, but yeah, I don't know. All this to say, if you're getting married and your partner is like really insistent that you change your name, like,
Red flag.
yeah, like a little bit, like Daniel's very traditional, like, yeah, all this just that's my thing. No, Daniel's very traditional, and he was kind of bummed out, but like he gets it, and he's not pressuring me at all. Like, he was like, okay, like, as long as like you're hyphenating at least, like, that's nice.
But also, I feel like what you stated is so important to, like, for people to stop and think. Like, you've been on a journey with your last name your whole life, and you finally get to a point where you're just like, I'm owning this, and this is me. And then to be like, oh, I should change it. Like, I completely get that, because it's not anything against your partner or anybody's partner for someone not wanting to change their last name. Like, it's about them and their choices, not like, it's not a diss or disrespectful, but yeah.
Yeah, it's literally just about me.
Yeah.
I'm being selfish, and
no,
I don't
you're
care.
not being selfish. I think that I don't know. I can't imagine a world where I would be like, okay, well, I guess I have to change my last name. Like, that's an expectation that's been placed on over 50% of our population from who knows how long ago. And I'm just like, it just seems so weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like a property thing. Like, that's how it originated, which, like, I also have issues with, but that's no need for another feminist rant here. For me, it's mostly just about what my name means to me. But also,
I'm here for it. Fuck the patriarchy. Okay.
Just to whip your tits out and free bleed.
I'm not a tits out and free bleeding kind of feminist just yet.
Oh gosh.
If I have daughters, you betcha. I'll be free bleeding on the porch. Anybody says anything to my daughters.
Is it my turn to catch up?
Yep.
Is it my catch up? Okay. A couple things, because Becca, you made me think about it, but I flew into St. Louis after my honeymoon. Well, I flew out of St. Louis for my honeymoon way back in the day and flew back into St. Louis. And when I came back in, we were on the tram to go to the car, but we let the tram stop at the wrong parking lot. So newlyweds off the plane in St. Louis airport, like in a parking lot, and our car's not there, and no idea how to get to our car. And this family like rolls up in like a minivan, and it's like a mom and dad and 3 kids, and they're like, just get in, we'll take you over to your, which was so sweet and so Midwestern, but it was so awkward to be like 2 grown-ass adults getting in this minivan with this entire family who just came back from vacation, and they're like, it was so weird.
Oh,
that
my
is
God.
so funny.
A honeymoon, no less. If you're like, yeah, so it was our honeymoon, the parents are like, ooh, okay. I hope you had fun.
The faces you make are seriously the best. I can't even explain it, and I wish people could like get to understand how amazing it is.
I don't honestly, I don't even think about my facial expressions until you point it out. But
It's so good. They're golden.
Oh,
Like, you could be an actress that is like one of those physical comedy, like, I'm trying to think of like Amy Poehler, that kind of thing, because you have like the facial expressions just make you just like laugh.
wow! Thank you so much. Like a toned down Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Isn't he like what is he like? What is it? What did you call it? A physical act? What did you call it?
Well, I don't know what I said. What did I say?
I don't know what it's called, but it's like when they have a
Body language, humor.
A physical comedy?
physical comedy.
Physical comedy.
Okay, yeah.
Wow, that's an honor. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I gotta pull myself together. So, still can't taste or smell anything. It's been about 5 days now.
Yeah, update.
got
Adam has
this.
COVID because people don't know.
Because that was on the Patreon party, but not
Yeah.
to the world. Which, whatever. How long did you guys lose your sense and taste?
It was like a couple weeks, I think, for me. Maybe a week.
For me, it was like 48 hours. It wasn't very long. Maybe.
Saturday's like Christmas cookie making day, and it's one of my favorite days of the year because I love eating sweets, and I can't taste a damn thing.
Like nothing. Like you're just eating for substance.
Yeah.
Dang.
Break out those Brussels sprouts.
It's funny though.
Brussels sprout cookies.
How about hot sauce?
The thing is, I can feel tastes, which is the weirdest thing to think. And at first I'm like, am I high or am I just like thinking this weirdly? But I wasn't high, but I was like, this feels sweet. Like when I'm chewing this, I can feel the sweetness, but I can't taste anything. But like my tongue knows what sweetness feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like sweetness like brings like a rush of your salivary glands. Like it makes you salivate really fast. Right?
And,
well, that's what it does to me.
And then like I can taste bitter, like coffee in the morning. Like I was like, I can feel bitter. And then I went down this whole thing of like my senses have their own senses. Like my sense of taste has its own sense of feel. I was like, whoa. Anyway, I promise I was sober.
I was gonna say, were you high?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. But yeah, so that's happening. I'm fully submerged in the Harry and Meghan documentary on Netflix.
Me too. You said that?
Like, obsessed. Yeah.
You said it last week, and I went and I binged the first 3, and the other part comes out today, right?
Yeah.
Have you watched some of it
and
already?
I've been watching it while I've been working.
See, I have to wait till later. I have to go through them all like under the covers with snacks, you know? Can't do it during the day.
Oh my gosh. So good.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And our new couch comes tomorrow. And
Tomorrow!
Yeah. And this has been a freaking journey. And I understand that this is coming from like a place of privilege of being like, oh, I can buy a new couch. That being said, we were promised 2 weeks when we ordered this back in October.
Yeah.
And then after those 2 weeks, it was like, oh, it's not going to be for another month. And then I just called, I texted our salesman on the first weekend of December when we were coming back from California. And I was like, hey, I still haven't received an update. Do you have any update? And he was like, oh, we're thinking middle of January now, which will be 3 months for something that's paid for.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
And then I was like, then I went down this spiral of like, this was a scam. This company, which is a pretty well-known company, America Furniture Warehouse, scammed us because he gave us his personal cell phone. He's the salesman that told us it would be at 2 weeks. He gave us his cell phone to text if we had questions.
Oh no,
so
you're thinking that he like took your money.
He knew, well, not that he took the money, but that he knew it wasn't going to be 2 weeks, but he wanted that commission.
You know what though? I wouldn't necessarily rule that out. Like that could be a thing.
Because I watched him with my eyeballs type into the computer, right arm facing Chase is in Denver warehouse, delivery in 2 weeks, meaning like it'll come in 2 weeks. But I watched him type that. It wasn't like the system brought that up. And so it's like, I feel like the whole thing. So then I was in the car with Steve and my friend Lydia because we were coming back from the plant sale in California, and I was texting this guy and I was getting really annoyed, and I let my emotions take over. I get like, I get real business bitchy is what I call it.
Mm-hmm. Per our last email.
Yeah. And anyway, I was like, what do I do? And Lydia gave me the game. She's like, this is what you need to say to him. So I basically sent him a message and was like, because he said he could split the delivery up in 2. We could have all of our couch except for that right piece. And then when that comes in, they would deliver that. And I was like, well, that's stupid because then that part of the couch won't have like an ending. There won't be an arm there. It'll just be like falling off into a void.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which, that's dramatic, I know. It'll just be falling off onto the floor, but whatever.
It's still a void.
And so I said, no, thank you. And this is what Lydia told me. And I was like, no, thank you. We'll be stopping in this week to speak to someone about returning the entire purchase and going back and getting our couch that we were going to get at Living Spaces. And then
Brilliant.
we both got COVID, so we couldn't go in this week, which was last week. And then yesterday we get a text and says, your couch is ready to be delivered on Friday. And I was like,
look at that.
No, it's because you raised hell. That's literally Yeah.
And I don't want to be that person because I worked in customer service, but I also know how to get it across correctly, because when people came at me guns blazing right off the bat, I would do everything in my power to make it a miserable experience for them.
Yeah.
But if they were kind, I'd be like, yeah, let me help you.
Yeah. You know, it's one thing to tell somebody 2 weeks and maybe it's like a week or two late, but it's around the holidays and they would have literally been 3 months late with someone had to have known something up front. But like this has been going on since the dawn of COVID, like with this furniture shortage shit. Because when we moved in here, it was like a solid 3 month wait in the door. Like they had all these spreads everywhere, but like you couldn't get anything within like the first 3 months, you know? I think it took like 4 months for us to get our couch, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah, but
It's just
again,
nuts.
you're right. Is don't say 2 weeks.
Right.
Like if they would have from the get go been like, this won't be in for 2 months, I would have been like, okay, I get it. That's fine.
Yeah.
But when you're telling
Yeah.
me we'll get it in 2 weeks, after 2 weeks, I'm like itching. I'm like, where is it? You know?
yeah,
where is
you're
this
moving
couch?
furniture around. You may be planning
Yeah.
for the holidays. You might have family in. Like it's just a crappy thing to do to people. And yeah. And then it's like this whole thing where like these couches are missing certain pieces. Like why isn't the couch all in one piece to begin with? Like why aren't they making it all I don't get it. And yeah, I don't work in like furniture, so don't come for me, but it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's confusing. I feel like we should get back in the habit of under promising, over delivering.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yes.
there's been a few times when that has happened recently for me with deliveries, and I'm just like, oh, this is the best. I'm excited. This is wonderful news.
People will always
Glad
be
it's
happy.
here.
That's the best form
Yeah.
of customer service.
Yeah.
The best.
Ugh.
Yep.
But good, yay.
Well, I'm glad that it's coming.
I know. I am so excited to just curl up on that beast and watch Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Like, I was really sad that it was then projected to come after Christmas, because I had this whole envision of like Christmas we would spend like hanging out on the couch watching movies, because Christmas is just, it's Steve and I, which I adore, but also it's not like this huge shindig with family.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't know, I was like, oh, we'll have a sectional to cuddle on and it'll be just the Christmas vibes. So now that's happening and I'm happy.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Oh, but for you guys listening, it's already New Year, so sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Happy New Year.
You've already seen
behind
the
the
new couch,
curtain.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Bundle up, potted together fam. It's time to get cozy. Winter is officially here where I live, and what better way to enjoy it than snuggled up in some luxury loungewear? Cozy Earth crafts luxury goods that will transform your winter lifestyle. Even Oprah agreed. She has it listed as one of her favorite things. My lounge set is so soft, and it's the perfect thing to be snuggled up on my couch watching scary movies. All of their products are made from responsibly sourced viscose from bamboo, which is known for its softness and breathability. All products come with a 10-year warranty. How many of us can say that about the rest of our wardrobe? I know I can't. If you're looking for loungewear you can live in, Cozy Earth is the place to go. Cozy Earth provided an exclusive offer for our listeners today, which is 35% off site-wide when you use the code POTTED TOGETHER, all in one word. Again, that's 35% off site-wide when you use the code POTTEDTOGETHER.
Let's get into the episode, which is chores that we
Yes.
hate doing. Plant chores. I mean, there's the list of just chores in general. One I can think of that's not plant related right now is unloading a clean dishwasher. I will do dishes and load dishwashers forever, but if you ask me to unload a clean dishwasher, I have no desire to do that ever in my entire life. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is.
But it's one of those things where you like have to do it because then you can't get the dirty dishes in there. Like it's like a need to do thing. It's the same thing with like taking dishes out of the strainer and drying them off and putting them away. Why is it so inconvenient to do that? Like
I know.
It's the same thing for me. I hate it.
I make Steve do it. I'm like, and this is how I approach the whole thing. I'm like, is the dishwasher clean or dirty? And he'll be like, clean. I'll be like, oh, okay. and I shut the sink off because I was just getting ready to do dishes, and I just walk out of the room. And then all of a sudden I hear him unloading the dishwasher because he knows that I hate doing that. But I'll do dishes forever. Like, I'll do dishes constantly.
Okay. Yeah.
It's weird.
No, I don't like
Anyway.
doing them either.
But plant chores that we hate. Do you have one on your mind, like, right now?
Honestly, balancing my pH for my leca plants and redoing the nutrient water. Like, the weeks where I could just top off are like, yeah, like I'm just like rolling through it. I'm having a great day. But when I have to mix that solution or I have to like re-up my jug of solution water, it's just, I don't know why, it's just a pain in the ass. I used to love doing it because I felt like a scientist. I'm like, ooh, I'm mixing all these chemicals, like I'm doing my thing. But now I hate it. Now it's just like I can't be bothered.
Isn't it the same every time though?
Yeah, it's the same every time, but it's still a matter of doing it. Like, I just hate doing it.
Yeah. I feel like my friend Lydia just mixes all of her stuff in a like those 5-gallon jugs. So you do it less.
I have a 2-gallon. I think it's 2
But then I'm
gallons.
like, how long should that stuff stay sitting? Because you obviously don't go through it like boom, boom, boom.
Well, not anymore. But when I had more plants, I did. Like, I'd have to use like 1.5 of those. Actually, I think it's just a gallon jug now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
It really, I don't think it should be sitting there very long because then it could change the pH levels if it's just sitting there. But yeah, that's one I can think of. But there's a lot. So go ahead.
There's a lot. Okay. Yeah, I have quite a few as well. I would say that the one that made me think about this episode idea, because it was a chore that I had to do, but I just put off for so long, was disinfecting used Pon.
Oh.
Now, you haven't really used Pon, Nicole. You've just used Lechuzapon that Steve gave you, right?
Yeah, so I have one of my Gloriosums in it right now, but I didn't know about sanitizing to reuse. Is it just like when you do it with your leca?
Yeah. So, hot take, I've kind of like moved away from leca and moved to my DIY Pon. The Lechuza is nice, but it's too small. Like, the little Pon pieces are way too small.
It's very small, yeah.
Whereas the DIY Pon that I make, they're bigger, so they don't fall out of the net pot like so easily. But then that's when I was sitting here thinking, I was like, maybe I need to teach Nicole how to do this DIY Pon so you could try it, because honestly, it like changed my life with my Hoyas.
Really?
Like, leca was nice, but I just feel like it wasn't as good as Pon. I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah.
I was like a Pon hater at first. But anyway, like leca, you can disinfect your Pon and reuse it, which you basically just boil it for 15 minutes.
Okay.
But like,
That's
when
a
I do
process.
repottings, when I do repottings or stuff, I've just taken the old Pon and put it in like a big storage container, and that thing got full. Or my friend Lydia gave me some as well, and then you just have to boil it. But it's just like, it's not fun.
No.
It's not fun to go through each time. It kind of makes the house a little stinky because it's like you're boiling substrate, so it kind of smells like
Like earthy?
earth.
Yeah.
But not in like a cute earthy way, like maybe a poo pond kind of way. A poo lagoon.
The Poo Lagoon smells like the Poo Lagoon in here.
But yeah, that's one of the ones I'm just like, ugh, it has to be done, but I just hate doing it.
Yeah. What about you, Becca?
Yeah.
Can you think of anything?
Well, I was just going to say before we move on that this is great confirmation that I just don't like non-soil. I just don't. Although I do have one plant in Lechuza Pond currently, because I was given a kit and I was like, oh, this is great. That's like a fun way to introduce someone to it if you just want to get them a kit or something. But the plant that's in it, I don't know if it's okay because it doesn't have any leaves. So I'm like, what's going on here? Like, I have no way of gauging, like, but it still is like firm. It's an anthurium.
Oh.
It's still like firm and like seems like it's going to be okay, but I haven't seen any new growth points or anything. But like, if this anthurium does super well, I would consider putting other anthurium in it because I've heard that they really like Pawn or Leca. Mm-hmm. Specifically Pawn. I've heard they really enjoy Pawn. And Anthurium is like one of my favorite genuses, but I'm so bad with them. I mean, honestly, I'm not great. I've kept them alive, but they don't look very pretty. So I would consider doing it for them, but I just haven't heard a lot of things that make me want to, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, things grow amazing in it, but whatever.
Yeah. Well,
Hoya.
see, I'm just hearing the negatives and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do it. You're right.
Confirmation bias.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there's probably so many positives. Okay. For me, I'm just going to be honest, watering. I hate watering plants. I really do. And I feel like the reason for that is because I have to do so much watering in one day. And like, that's my own fault. It's my own damn fault, because I always tell people to break up your watering into like multiple zones and days, but that doesn't always work out. Like, that's like a very idealistic way of going. I mean, you guys have plants in different parts of your house. Like, you're not watering everything on the same day most of the time, right?
I am.
No.
You do.
Well,
See,
that's what I've got. That's how my schedule has become. Like, not intentionally.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it just happens, and then you have to like actively work to get yourself back on a schedule where it's spread out.
Yeah.
But like, that's inconvenient if you're going on a trip, because I'm thinking for myself, like, oh, dang it, all my plants are on the same schedule right now. But also that's not terrible because I'm leaving town for a week.
Yeah.
So I don't hate that, because then I can water everything before I leave and it'll be fine. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I just don't enjoy watering. In small doses, it's fun, because then you can like spend time checking on the plants. But that's usually not how it goes for me. I'm usually having to spend like 2 hours only doing that. And it's just, but I've been using the Plant-A-Potty, which I have loved.
Yeah.
But I've been using it for the plant room, and I was like, it's just too small because it just takes longer because I have to wait so long.
Yeah.
And I haven't been using the watering table that I built very often, but I used it this last watering session, and I was able to water like 6 plants at once, which is so, it's so good. And with the Plant-A-Potty, it's only 2. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely still going to use it, but I'm going to use it for like watering my office where there's not as many plants and I can be more casual about it. Mm-hmm. Or if I have like a one-off situation where I need to water, it's definitely extremely convenient. But for like my big watering days, it just takes longer because it's a small bucket, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's like the point. That's like what it was made to do. So
yeah.
So yeah, that's mine. Watering. That's one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Because same.
Yeah. It's like the most important thing that we do for our plants, and I'm like, I don't like it.
I know.
It's like, why do I have plants then?
But I think it's what you said.
Not true.
I think it's like the fact that you need to literally designate half of your day to doing it. So like that day just turns into a general plant chore day, because not only are you watering, but then you find yourself checking your plant, and then maybe you need to repot one. And for me, it's like, oh, I have all my plants down. I might as well clean my shelves, which is what I was going to say next. Cleaning my plant shelves is not it's just not a fun thing, because I literally have to remove everything off the shelves. And
yeah.
Real quick before I make a comment about that, I want to make a comment about what Becca said, because I'm thinking about like those vibey like videos where people are like, I just wake up in the morning and I have my coffee and I water my plants. And I'm just sitting here like, who loved you when you were younger? Because I can't relate. Like, what?
Who nurtured you as a child? I bet you didn't have to cry it out.
I know. I'm realizing just how fake the internet is, you know? Like when you see all these TikToks and these Instagram reels and like all this like, oh, it's such a great day. Just know that this shit is not real all the time. It's not real life.
No.
Yeah, it is. As a person who makes like aesthetic watering videos, it is typically very relaxing, but I'm either listening to smut or I am like zoning out the whole time. Like I have literally listened to audio corn while I was my plants.
while you were filming. Everybody go back and watch all of Becca's houseplant chore videos.
You'll see the eyebrows.
Yeah. Ooh.
No, but that one video you did leave it in the frame where you were just like pushing stuff out of the frame. You know, that was a piece of real before the not real.
I love that.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, you never know what I've got in these headphones, you guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we never
I keep
know.
myself on my toes.
Everybody has their kinks.
Everybody has their kinks. You know, I don't know. I only did that once, and it did keep me alert for sure. Because I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? He's going to do what?
Where's he putting that?
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. Okay. But yeah.
Okay, so cleaning your shelves. Do you make that harder for yourself because everything has to be perfect, which means you have to move everything off the shelf?
Yes.
Same.
I do. I do.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that process in and of itself comes with obstacles because then I don't remember where anything really was. Like I have an idea of my cactus were on the heat mats and like my leca plants were all on one shelf, but like I try to keep things together in like how their needs should be, you know, like my leca plants all together, blah, blah, blah. But like putting them back on the shelf, I'm just like, okay, that doesn't look right. So like, it's usually like a 2 or 3 time process to get the shelves back to looking the way I want them to look. And then, yeah, it's all in my head. It's all my fault. I do it to myself. But, you know, I stare at these things all day. Like when I'm sitting in the kitchen, I want them to be something I want to look at, you know? So it's got to look the way I want it to look. But it's a headache.
Well, part of yours is also, I think, you know, not having your own space.
Yeah.
Especially upstairs. But like, because I think about the way that I do it, we have these like, you know, those bar mats that like are rubber, but they have like,
yes.
they usually
for the
see them
drinks.
at a bar.
Yeah.
So we have like a couple big squares of those. And so I'll water my leca plants.
Does it have like
and then,
Jack
put the
Daniels written across it?
No, they're plain black. Okay. And then I'll just set them on that to dry and just wait until, and then I have like a mat for like each shelf. So when I pull those plants off the shelf and put them on that mat, then I can clean that shelf, you know, while they're drying in the kitchen. But then I was like, well, you can't really do that because I feel like you don't want to leave stuff on the counter.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like,
I don't really care about Steve's feelings. I'm like, yeah, plants are going to be everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I always tried to be like conscious of even Jay and the kids, like when we lived without my parents. But like other people need to get in the kitchen and everybody's on a different schedule in this house. Like people eat lunch at a different time. People eat breakfast at a different time. Ted's making coffee in the middle of the day. So like I really can't take over the kitchen because it is an inconvenience for people, you know? So like I'll literally need to prep my mom and just be like, hey, just so you know, I'm cleaning my shelves on Thursday, which is another thing. It has to be like planned out. I can't just like randomly be like, I think I'm going to clean my shelves today because I'm putting people out, you know, which brings me to what I was talking about on our Patreon party. I am moving my shelves downstairs. Like I haven't told them that yet, but I am moving them down. They may already be down there by the time you're listening to this because I feel like I might love my plants a little bit more if they're down there, you know?
They're in your space,
In yours, you can do what you want with them. You don't have to worry about bothering someone else.
Yeah, and I thought about it and I was like, well, how is watering gonna go? Because, you know, the kitchen is right there. It's so convenient. But we have like a slop sink area down there, which I'll just like build something around it so that I can like put my plants down because it's just a sink, you know?
Yeah.
Use your plant folio.
I can use my plant folio. True. Yeah. And my plant potty, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and just buy like a plastic table and then like put just like a towel over it. And then once you water them and just set them on that table and let them sit there until they, that's going to be so good. Utility sinks is what like everyone wishes for, and you're just going to have one.
Yeah, truly. I was going to say a utility sink would be so nice because we use like our regular kitchen sink, and like I don't want my kitchen sink to be all gross and like have pumice going down it and Coco. Actually, a lot of people have messaged me and been like, how can you still water your plants in your sink and like you don't ruin your garbage disposal? I'm like, I've never ever had issues with my garbage disposal. But actually our garbage disposal is broken right now. So I wonder if that's why.
Yeah,
I don't know. Our house is old, but I've never had that issue, you know?
You can't let, like, I feel like soil isn't that big of a deal because it'll break down. But pumice and stuff will be...
Not pumice.
No.
Yeah. I mean, there's like drain stoppers, like drain shields.
Yeah, that's what
that
I
you can just put in your drain. So, yeah, I do that too. I'm like, I don't know why people don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen plant chore videos. Like, recently I saw one. I can't remember who it was, so oops. But the sink was literally filled with dark black wall. Like, the drain was clearly clogged. Like, what is this person doing? That is so, like, how are you going to get that shit out? It was so bad.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Have to stick their hands in there. Oh, sticking my hand in the sink to get the stuff out of the drain. Oh, that is, like, traumatizing.
Oh, that doesn't bother me.
Me either. I usually just move it around with my finger so it drains all the water, and then I'll pull out the basket and tap it out.
Yep.
Well, there's always like wet. There's always like wet food in it.
Okay.
Well, get the wet food out before you do your plant. You might want to just clean that out first.
That's
Not
what the
me,
dish,
like-
that's what the dish disposal is for. The garbage disposal that's not working.
Yeah.
That's what that's for.
Yeah. Like, yeah, our garbage disposal, like, it's like the plug keeps shorting out, and Daniel has replaced it like 3 times and it keeps happening. And we're like, what is going on? Like, our house wiring is so messed up. I don't even know what's going on half the time.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're in for an electrical fire or anything, but like the way that they wired our house, like they just put too much on one circuit breaker for the kitchen. So like the plant room and the microwave and maybe a few other things are all on the same circuit breaker. So like if the space heater is running or the greenhouse heater is running in the plant room and we turn on the microwave, it's going to cut the circuit
Yeah.
every time.
I feel like microwaves take up so much power.
They're supposed to be on their own.
Yeah.
Like breaker. But I think, you know, the original intention of this was to just have like a light, like a porch light. You know what I mean? And I don't think they intended it to be like a space heater situation.
Yeah.
But still, like your microwave should always be on its own. That's what I've always heard.
Okay, another chore that I hate is cleaning out old pots.
Oh. Awful.
Right?
Now that's gross.
I have like stacks of them, and I'm just like, I need to clean that out, but I just like don't even want to try.
See, you're in Arizona, so you could do this year round, but the only time I'll do that is like in the summer when I can blast them with the hose. Because if I have to clean it out like by hand in the kitchen, it's so gross. So if I have to repot,
You're fine with
Dirt.
moving the chunky, gross, soggy food around, but you're not okay washing out a terracotta pot?
No. I'm not okay. I'm not okay moving around the soggy, gross food. I clean the food out before I do my plant chores. But I just don't like, because it's old and like...
It has a smell. When soil is old and it's been sitting there, I get it. It has a scent.
Yeah.
And I don't like the smell either.
Also,
Dry soil. Ugh.
I don't like cleaning terracotta pots. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me.
The feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand that. The texture. Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Ceramic is easier, but not terracotta. No.
No terracotta. No terracotta. Yeah. I just cleaned out a bunch of plants and I need to clean the pots so that they can be like ready for their next resident. But I am putting that off.
Yeah, because nothing's worse than when you're like, you finally have it in your mind to like, oh, I got to repot all this stuff and I'm going to do that right now. And
No,
then
you're
all
not.
of the pots that you can use have to be clean. You're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That's very annoying.
Okay, but do you like always wash your pots between uses. Like,
Are we being honest? Because then the answer is no.
always.
Okay, always.
No,
yes.
I don't.
No. You should.
No, I don't either. You should sanitize your pots. I don't do it every time. Definitely if I have like a lot to clean out, then I will. But if it's just like one or two, I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna use it.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with root mealies right now, which is a thing that I never expected to struggle with because I don't know where the fuck they came from, but
Yeah.
they're here.
They came from the depths
feel
of
like
hell.
They just appeared out of nowhere. But anyway,
Also.
all my plants that have them are still growing well. But anyway, so now I am cleaning out everything because I'm like, I don't know if whatever was in here before had root mealies and they're just like sitting
Yeah.
dormant until they get something on top of them and then they're like, ooh, I'm alive.
I'm alive. Yeah. That's a bad one.
yeah.
That is not fun. I guess if like a plant had root rot, I would.
Yeah.
I took it out. But I also don't reuse soil either. Like a lot of people are like, oh, you can reuse soil. I don't. I usually just put it in my compost because and it'll go in my garden. Like it's going to get reused, but not for my house plants.
Yeah,
or I just
same.
put it in the trash, to be honest. Like if I'm repotting right now, I'm not walking out to the compost pile. I'm sorry. I'm just not. It just goes in the trash. Which maybe I feel a little bad about. Don't shame me for that. But I do usually put it in the compost.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to reuse it on my houseplants because usually when you're repotting a plant, like the soil is spent. Like there's no nutrients in it. So
Yeah. I've reused soil that I've repotted a plant and maybe it died for whatever reason.
yeah.
Like quickly. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to waste this soil. So like I've reused soil that way. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just tossed it in the garden.
Recently used.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of people who will like keep old soil and like mix in small amounts into their new soil, which is like, yeah, you could do that as well. But
Yeah. Because the new soil has the
compost it.
nutrients. Yeah.
yeah.
But you just don't know what's in there.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think because like not everybody can compost, but or not everybody even wants to because it is kind of inconvenient if you live in like an apartment or something.
Yeah.
So like what can you do to like be non-wasteful in that situation? I guess just keep it and like mix it in slowly. But then you're holding on to it. That's taking up space in your apartment. It's just like it's hard.
I guess before we had a garden, I would just throw it like in my yard, like around a bush. Like I would just throw it somewhere in the yard. So I guess if you're like in an apartment, you can always just take it out to the front of the house and like you have to have something around if you do. Unless it's like stone
Sprinkle it.
or pumice, you know, all over the place. Or leca. No, you can't do that with leca.
No. Oh, Becca, do you have another chore that you want to talk about that you absolutely hate?
Okay, this feels like too obvious. Like obviously pest control sucks. But I hate finding pests, but it is kind of satisfying to know that I'm taking care of it. You know, like I'm like, oh, okay, so in 3 days I get to spray again and like, kill them. So I can't even say that I necessarily hate that, but I have come to the point where I rarely have big outbreaks because I can identify it pretty quickly. And so it's usually only like 3 to 4 plants at the most. So if not that, I don't know, failed propagations.
True.
Yeah.
Having to
Do you guys-
throw
I don't
out
know
all
if you
all those dead ass props.
Oh my God. It's like the worst feeling in the world when you realize you've failed at propagating. I fail at propagating like relatively often because I think I just forget about them and I don't really care. Like unless it's a plant that I like really care about, I'm like, eh. But did you guys see my frosted heart? What happened to my frosted heart syngonium?
No.
It just broke in half because my plank, the supports that the plank was sitting on rotted and it snapped. So I need to figure out something else because those little garden stakes I was using are not it. So I need to switch to like bamboo stakes for that.
Or water seal them. Thompson's water seal is what I do with my bamboo trellises. I spray it on there before they go in
Yeah. Well, okay, so these ones, the ones that are on bamboo have been fine so far. I am going to water seal them though, just for extra measure because it is heavy. So what happened was I had just like little cheapy green plant stakes that I got from Michael's that I don't know why I chose to use those. Well, they're skinny and a staple can go pretty easily around them. But anyway, I picked up the plant and it's top heavy because it has the plank and it just snapped those little stakes and the plant snapped in half.
Wait, well, this was in a video, wasn't it?
Yes, it happened in a video. My last like favorites video.
Yes.
I don't remember. Maybe it was October.
I
haven't done a favorites video since.
Traumatized.
Yeah, so it just like snapped in half and I was like, oh shoot, well, all right, this obviously sucks because I really liked this plant. It was really beautiful, but I can just propagate this top. It's not a big deal. Okay, the entire top is dead. Like it did not live at all. And it's a syngonium. What the heck, Becky? Like, I don't know what happened, but like I think water propagating for me is out because I just stuck it in a glass of water. It's just out for me. I can't like, I don't know. For some plants, it's really great. Like I have a Sansevieria in water. It's great. I put a piece of my Splendid in water. It's doing great. But I mean,
I put a chunk of my Billietier in water, and I'm not a water prop guy. Never. And one of them I put in soil, and one of them I put in water. And the one, actually I put them both in soil, but one of them was doing fine in the soil and the other one was rapidly declining. So I took it out and put it in water so I could see what was happening. And it wasn't like growing roots, even though there was like clearly aerial roots on the piece. So I made a fresh cut at the bottom where it healed off. And that seemed to jumpstart it. And then it started growing roots. But it was like that was what it needed to do. But it was kind of annoying because I'm like, okay, well, I put this in water. I felt like it should already just like those nodes or those aerial roots should know like, oh, this is water, let's grow. But it's like they didn't want to.
Yeah, it's weird.
I feel like I used to only do water propagation just because I liked the satisfaction of being able to see what's going on. But it does take forever with most propagations. Hoya is pretty quick because I have propped with water before with Hoya. It's pretty quick with Hoya. But I just use my prop box now with sphagnum moss, and that's like my go-to.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I haven't bought spag in so long, but I think I will buy it. And I made a video saying that I'm never going to buy that again, like products I'm not going to use. And I said it because spag was not very eco-friendly. And then I like hundreds of comments being like, I think you're referring to peat moss. And I'm like, am I?
Oh.
Like, am I getting these two confused? I thought that spag was not great to use for the environment
That's
purposes.
what I thought too.
But apparently it's fine.
I thought,
I'm confused.
Maybe it is peat bogs that take a while to develop peat moss. But I feel like sphagnum moss still has to be developed too.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. I purchased a brick of sphagnum moss like 3 years ago. And I have never bought any more. Like I reuse it because I only use it for propagation. So like obviously if I notice like maybe there's mold on it or like something happened in the process, I'll throw that out. But like you can use it for a really long time.
Yeah, and you can boil it too.
And microwave it. It's like super easy to do both of those things.
Oh yeah. I've never done that, but yeah.
So I mean I've like for a while retracted that statement because I'm like, oh, maybe I was confused. And it sucks because I can't edit that out of the video. I'm like, great. Now I just have to my idiocy online forever. But and it's a popular video too. So great. But
you could do like a pinned comment.
Yeah, I could do that. But yeah, so I think I might order some spag and just propagate in that. I was doing propagating in cocoa for a long time as well, but that was really hit or miss. Like some plants did really great and others, they just like rotted because it was too wet.
Yeah.
So I think if I mixed in like perlite, that's what you do, Adam, right? Perlite and cocoa.
Yeah, perlite, a little bit of horticultural charcoal.
Oh, okay.
And that's it. But honestly, like De La Tanks is where it's at too. Because but I keep all of my props in a closed container. I put them, saturate them, and then I put them in a closed container, lid on, lights blasting, and then they just exist in there for weeks. And it usually is like, boom.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm propagating my linearis in De La Tanks right now, and I haven't checked on it in a while. I hope it's doing okay, but because my linearis is currently dying. It's like it's gone woody at the base and it's just growing, and not in the way that like Hoya do. Like when linearis goes woody, in my experience, every single time the plant is dying. Like it's gonna die.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like not sure if I should just cut it off and then just reroot the entire plant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do.
Adam?
I just got one in a trade with someone because I wanted to try it again.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, the first time I had it, it lived for a while, and then it was like one of those things where I forgot to water it for too long, and then it had probably dry rotted and died. But I was like, I've been itching to try that one again because I think it's so cute.
Yeah.
It is cute.
I think mine dry rotted. That's what happened. Because it is a little bit of a thirstier Hoya. You can't let it go as long as like a Carnosa, which most of my Hoya are Carnosa or Carnosa-esque type of thing.
Yeah.
So, and I was treating it like that, and it didn't like it. It put up with me for a long time. It was very, very beautiful and healthy, but it's just looking scraggly, and like the growth, like it hasn't put out new growth in probably like a year, and the individual stems, they look skinny and like just not. So I'm considering just like cutting it and then rerooting the entire plant to see if something happens. I mean, I'm not okay, I'm a little bummed because I've had that plant for a long time, but it's not hard to find linearis now. So like I'll be able to get another one, but it sucks because I've had it for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Like my Hoya multiflora variegated was so huge, and all of a sudden it just rotted at the bottom of the stem, and I was like, okay, but the roots were all fine. Like I unpotted it, and it was like the roots were all good. Like there was no rotting roots, but the stem just decided to rot, which was
so
the weirdest
weird.
thing. So I took this plant that I grew out to be like 2 feet, 3 feet long, and I had to just completely cut it all the way down and reroot the top
That's the
cutting. But then I'm like, okay, well,
worst.
I did this once, so it's kind of fun to watch it grow.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be curious, Becca, if you cut like where that woody part is, if you'll see sap, because if that's the key, that like that vine is dead if there's no sap, you know.
I'll cut one and show you because it looks dried up. Like it doesn't. It's not thick at all. It's like very thin and like wrinkly looking. Woody.
You should definitely like take as many healthy cuttings off of that and try to prop them as you can. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have two pieces, like 2 vines that I've successfully rooted, and then I did the butterfly method for another one. And I don't know how the butterfly method is going. It's in De La Tanks in a bag, so I mean theoretically it should work. But like
if there's
I'm
condensation
not
on the bag, then I think that means
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not like. There's just certain plants I'm not great with propagating. Like I can propagate an aroid very easily, but like Hoya, I'm like, I don't know about that.
Oh, and they're so easy.
They're easy.
I know.
You got it.
That's what
You can do
That's
it.
what everybody says, but like I always have issues.
Those were just a little bit of the chores. We did have a long catch up. I think that's probably why. Those are a bit of the chores that we hate doing. Yeah. But
Yeah.
Becca said how she gets through her bad chores. She just listens to smut. I'll listen to a podcast or like a TV show. I'll pull up Netflix on my phone and put headphones on. The TV show that you don't really need to like pay attention to, one I've seen multiple times, and it kind of helps you get through them. Or listen to a podcast like Pot It Together.
Yeah.
That helps you get through chores.
Yes.
We hear that a lot. Lots of people say, I
We
listen
do.
to your podcast when I'm doing chores, and it's like I'm with friends, and it's so sweet. So thank you.
Thank you.
But along those lines, don't forget to leave us a review. We would love to hear your feedback. You can do that on Apple and Spotify. On Apple, you can actually leave us a comment, which we love reading too. So
Wait,
share it with what?
we should have an episode reading our comments. That would be fun.
Are there bad ones?
There's a few.
Recent?
No, I don't think so. Well, I haven't checked in a while, but we should.
Actually, I want to check it and see if we have any bad reviews.
Ooh, she's going in for it.
Oh,
Oh, am I going to get my feelings hurt?
she's whipping her tits out and free bleeding all over.
I'm free bladed. Oh, okay. It seems like pretty typical. Lots of, yeah, people wanting more plants, pretty much, which is like, that's fine.
More plant content.
Just skip.
Sorry, not in this episode. 45-minute catch up.
I mean, if anybody read the reviews in advance, they'd be like, okay, these people talk a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
But also, they're still mostly all 5 stars, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a 5-star review that we recently got that was like, you know, lots of personal chatting, but that's okay. Like, wish there was more plant talk, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But
All right, I guess we can make a full episode out of that.
I feel like we chatted a lot about plants this time, though.
Yeah, we did.
I mean,
our friendship's a little more than just us being obsessed with plants, you know?
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, and people get that. They get that. Just skip. It's usually around 30 minutes. Okay, if you're listening this far, you are already aware of that. But if you don't like to hear about our personal lives, just skip to the 30-minute mark. It's usually around there.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I would not be offended. If you don't want to know about my life, I don't want you to know about my life. Like, we get personal. And if you don't care, I don't want you to hear it.
And don't join Patreon, because if you think we're personal here.
Yeah. Truly.
Unhinged.
Truly.
Are we cutting all that out, or are we keeping that in?
Keep it.
Okay, well, on those lines,
can
we
keep
have a
it.
Patreon. So, yeah, if you like the chat, head over to Patreon, subscribe. You'll get extra chatty episodes. And we're almost hitting our 1-year mark on Patreon, guys.
Wow.
Which is exciting.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild
Just
times.
wow.
Wow.
Also, we have merch. So check out our store at poddedtogether.com. We have some things there that you might like. We love them. And as always, you can find us individually. I am at Not Dude. Becca is at De La Plants. And Nicole is at My Clean Leaves. That's on Instagram and YouTube. And I think that's it. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nailed it.
We'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Gear Patrol calls their new dive watch the best sub-$500 dive watch. Full stop. Men's Health rated them as the most stylish solar watch in the game. Who are we talking about? It's Movement. They're leveling up your gift giving with the sleekest watches you can buy and the biggest deals of the season. Shop 30 to 50% off Movement's innovative California clean watches, jewelry, and accessories with fast free shipping and returns now at mvmt.com. That's mvmt.com.